Hey guys, this is Cree, and I'm tuning in on the right side of 50. Hope everybody's having a great, productive day. Um, just wanted to come on in and say hello and, just see how you guys are doing. Um, I just wanted to touch just a few minutes on um, mental health as usual. That's what I've been talking about, your mental well being, just how you conduct your day from the beginning to the end. So I touched on routine a little bit, didn't go into detail. Everybody's routine is going to be different, so you take from it as you will. Um, I think about when I was in my younger days, in my 20s versus 30s, 40s, and we're just continuing. So much has changed on how I do my day. I'm, more mature. I'm older now. So I know that when I wake up, like many of you, first and foremost, once I open my eyes and I know that I'm here, and I thank God for that, of course. So whoever your higher power is, I'm sure sometime during the day you do that. I personally started in the morning because I'm conscious, I'm alert, and or at least try to become more alert. And then once I do that, that's the time that you're taking a moment or two to inhale, exhale. You get up, you go to the washroom, and whatever your routine is in there. And while I'm in there doing that, I will have my own personal one-on-one conversation with my God, and just talk to him about what's going on in my mind, from work to anything personal going on in my life. If there's any family issues, such as people being sick or not taking care of themselves the way they should, I do address that and ask that, hey, you know, uh, please help this person really understand what they're doing to themselves, or make sure that their treatment goes well. Anything, anything that comes to mind. Um, it's not all about me. But lately, right now, I have been, and I've been doing it with you. I've been addressing like the work woes I have, how I'm still going through a struggle in my development there, and if this is even really a good fit for me, because like I said, I fumble around with it, I fight it, and then sometimes I have to just release, and I have to make that determination soon as far as whether or not it's a good fit, or if I need to withdraw. So uh, right now, once I do that, I get through with my morning routine. I'll go ahead, I'm drinking my water. That's the first thing that you should put into your body. Uh, I'm drinking my water, and, you know, walking around, getting things together, little things. Sometimes you straighten up as you go. Um, Once it's time for me to sit, to get my work started, I still take a few minutes before I get going, because you have to adjust. You got to get everything going. In my case, because I have a sit down job, um, if I can stretch before I get started, I try to do that. I haven't been that good at it. I won't even lie. So on my first break, I'll go ahead and take care of that. If I don't do it first thing in the morning, is stretch, just to kind of, let I don't know if they say the air, let it, open up your joints a bit, since you're going to be sitting. And just so you know, I get up a lot anyway. Well, enough. I won't say a lot, but enough just to stretch a little bit. So I go over my short term goals in the morning as well. When I'm having that conversation with God, I go over those short term goals. And right now, those little short term goals is moving. Okay, moving to a bigger place. The area is nice, I like it, but I need something bigger, and I need something within reason, affordable. Now, we know it's nothing like it was before 2020. The rent out here is ridiculous. At this time, I don't own a home. Okay. Um, put that out there. I am a renter. So rent is crazy right now, for as most of you know who do rent. It's just crazy. It's ridiculous. Um, but I want something within reason. I want something near, not too far from my job, because right now I am not driving. I don't have a car, so I'm not driving. Um, Last car I had, I ended up selling. It was it was problem after problem after problem. So I went ahead and it was, there was no payments on it. It was a paid off car, but I went ahead and just let it go because it seemed like I was putting more in than what it was worth. So what I do for the times that I need to go into the office, I just take a Lyft or Uber and there and back. And mind you, my job is not that far. I think it's like 5 miles from my house, so it's not far, for me to get there and get back. And, as far as outside of work, I do have other means of getting, to the store, or if I have errands to run, I have other options for that. So I may go ahead and get a car down the line, but I prefer to buy outright. I don't like car payments. I've had them, and they're just the most uh, draining thing that I just, no, I don't want that if I can avoid it. But if I can't avoid it, I'll address it at that time. Okay, so I am a minimalist. I've found that out about myself for some time. I've always been a little bit frugal with myself, and not completely frugal. Trust me, I'm not putting water in the ketchup bottle. It's nothing like that. It's just my money, any extra monies that I have, if it's something and I can spend it, I would rather go somewhere with that. I would rather take a trip, even if it's just a 2-day trip. I would rather use my money for adventure, for going somewhere, rather than wearing it. I don't wear brand names, high end brand names. I don't really do that. Um, it's not this serious. I can, fall onto uh, something cheaper. How about that? I can go to Ross, um, Burlington, something like that, and I can get something out of there, and I'm just fine. I don't need anything else. Okay. Um, if I, depending on what I'm looking for, it's certain stores that certain specialty stores that I may go to, like Lane Bryant, for certain things. But other than that, Ross is fine with me. Marshalls is fine with me. Burlington is fine with me. So anyway, and that's probably where I'll be. Probably maybe not today, but tomorrow. But anyway, so like I said, going back into the routine, I do want to, my short term goal is really to move right now. I do need a bigger place. I prefer to have 2 bathrooms. Most of the time, I've always had 2 bathrooms, but 1 bathroom is, if that's the way the cards are dealt for me to get 1 bathroom, then that's fine. I would prefer 2 bedrooms, but I don't have to have 2 bedrooms. Okay. 1 bedroom is sufficient for my situation. But overall, and then you have to have moving fees, deposit, all of that. So that costs money at the end of the day. So hopefully in the next 3 to 6 months, I'll go ahead and do that, because I don't plan to re-sign my lease. And I think that's over in the summer, July or August. I don't plan to go that far. I may, if I find a great deal, I may go ahead and end the lease early, just depending on what's out there. So That's not the biggest thing weighing in on my mind right now. My biggest thing is before going there, I need to lock up if I see this to be a good fit. And this is my mental right now. This is where my mind is right now. And this is why I say mental therapy is so important. Hopefully, you don't have anybody in your life draining your energy, sucking the life out of you. Hopefully, you don't have anything like that, because that can really be that's devastating. That does a lot. It takes so much from you, and you don't deserve that. We usually, what I find with us, especially with women, and I'm not going to say men don't go through it because they do, but what I find with women is we what we do is we have the answers. I know sometimes people say, "Okay, you're going through it with blinders on." Yeah, sometimes we do, but what I do know with many women, we usually we have a sense, and we have the answers. The problem is not in whether or not you know what to do. The problem is when you plan to do it. How are you going to execute your plan? Um, Especially for women who are going through some sort of situation. Um, Hopefully not abusive, but if even sometimes people don't even realize mental abuse. That's abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, all the gaslighting, the narcissism, all of that. That's a form of mental abuse, and that takes a toll on your mental wellness. So you definitely have to be aware of that. That's key. So hopefully none of you guys are going through any of that. But if you do, obviously the first step is you have to be able to identify. You have to be able to self-identify. Um, what I know just with history and with my own take on it, um, that's not something you can generally resolve because it's usually, forgive me, my eyes are watering. It's still my allergies here, but usually what it is it's not usually your problem. It's usually the other person who's having the problem, and you as a woman, you're trying to make it right. You're trying to figure out what it is you can do. What can I do to improve my situation? And you know what? In most cases, you can't because it's not your problem, it's their problem. So you have to figure out your exit strategy. What am I going to do? And you know what? It may not even be personal as far as a partner, it may be a brother or sister, or I don't know, an uncle or aunt. It could be a family member that they just drain the life out of you. They're so pessimistic, they're negative, they're just they take everything from you. And takers, they do no good in our lives. They take, and they take more than they're willing to give. And a person who's true, you do meet people out there that clearly don't realize that this is what they're doing. And you know those people because those are the people that put in effort to try to make it better and to be more mindful of what they're doing to you and others. Because if they're doing it to you, they're doing it to others around them. It's not personal to just you. Personal relationships are a little harder to deal with because you're probably in the same setting. You guys are probably in the same space, and sharing that space, it can become just so toxic, and um, you have nowhere to really go, or address, or anybody to talk to, rather, because when it comes to your personal, it's only so much that you're going to discuss with someone else. You don't like to open up to your family. You don't like to really go through all of that because it's family. And usually, what goes on between you and your husband or partner or whoever you're with, or wife, uh, whoever you're dealing with, usually what happens and goes on between you two is just something that you usually keep between you two. You usually don't open up to everybody else and their mom and whatever to talk about your problems at home. Therapy is key. Hopefully, there's a professional out there that you can speak to, because they don't know either one of you personally. So, it would be a little easier for them to try to help you come up with an exit strategy. Okay. Because that will affect everything. That'll blow your whole day, your work, what you do outside of work, how you sleep. And this is me talking from experience. I'm not guessing on any of it. This is just from what I know, what I've heard other people that I know go through. These are things that I've experienced. It sometimes it can just be so toxic, and you either don't see it because you're blinding really yourself. You're in denial with some of it. Um, Especially if it's somebody you've been around with for forever, you should be able to see it. And the other side of it is what I've already mentioned. You already know, but you're sticking it out because you're hoping that it'll change. Well, you can do that for only so long, and then it'll hit you, and you're gonna realize, oh, this is just who they are. It's not nothing you've done. This is just who they are. You got a lot of people who they suffer from PTSD. They suffer from some sort of trauma, maybe childhood trauma, usually childhood trauma, things that they have not grown out of, and that's something that they have to address. It's not something you can do. You can't help them through it because they will keep reliving and reliving it, and they're reliving it in your presence, and that does you no good, again, because it weighs down on you and your soul, and it's a no-no. Okay, so if you find things like this bothering you and this is part of your routine, you have to address it, and you have to address you. If you choose to stick around and stick with that person, you have to know how to you're going to have to figure it out, because I mean, first of all, you need space. You can't be up on top of each other 24/7, because it'll never resolve itself. It's not going to resolve itself anyway. Um, I don't know the statistics with it, but usually when you have somebody who's truly toxic, they're negative, they're pessimistic, they're narcissistic. Um, they're either a true narcissist or they have narcissistic traits. Whatever the case is, it doesn't heal itself. It doesn't. You have to worry about you. So, something to think about. You have those talks in the morning. You take that personal time. I don't care if it's just a walk around your house, um, talking to somebody over the phone, a therapist, only because, again, they don't have personal feelings because they don't know you. So I think that works best. We tend sometimes to bring it to friends or family, and I don't know what you're going to get out of that, because what's going to happen, depending on the kind of friend you have, they're either going to give their opinion and you may not like it, and they're talking from what they would do. They really can't tell you what to do. Only they can tell you to be safe. They can tell you to just, think about yourself, love yourself, think about yourself, stop worrying about that other person. That's what they can tell you. But as far as telling you exactly what to do, you have to know what to do. It because them telling you may not be the answer. Other than, I think you guys maybe can agree that you have to come up with an exit strategy. But it just amazes me how a lot of people out there, they don't realize that mental and verbal is still abuse. It is. You don't need, it doesn't have to be physical at all. It could just be someone who just mentally, it just is so toxic, and they weigh in on you. And it's just, it just gets so draining and exhausting. So hopefully you don't have to go through that, but I bet you I won't say most, but I bet you a lot of you can relate to that at some point in your life. Um, I'm 50, getting ready to be 51. So, I've experienced a lot. I know it. I know the signs. I see it. And, addressing it is the hardest. Uh, Identifying it is not hard. It's what are you going to do? Okay. So, at the end of the day, you just want to be healthy. You want to think about yourself. You have to learn to put you before other people. That's also a hard thing for us. And, we can talk more later on that. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get off of here and, eat a little lunch, and then I'm going to get back to work. But until next time, you guys be safe, and I'll talk to you soon. All right. Take care.